Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming this afternoon. I'm Felicia Martinez. I'm the Public Affairs Officer for the U.S. Attorney's Office here in the District of Utah. And today we are discussing a large paleontology case that involved $1 million worth of stolen dinosaur bones and caused over $3 million worth in damages. Now, because this is a pending case, we will not be taking any questions, but you will be hearing remarks from U.S. Attorney Trina A. Higgins, Grand County Sheriff Lieutenant Al Cymbaluk, and BLM Acting Special Agent in Charge for Region 3, Travis Guy, as well as BLM State Director Gregory Sheehan. And we are also joined by FBI Forensic Accountant Angela Mennett from the Salt Lake City Field Office. And our two Assistant United States Attorneys are also here today. That's Ruth Hackford Peer and Melina Schiraldi. We also have Jason Bulkley. He is the case agent from BLM as well. And right now I'll toss it over to Trina.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. We are here today to discuss the charges against Vint Wade, Donna Wade, Steve Willing, and Jordan Willing. First, I want to point out that this really was a team effort. We often talk about our state and federal partnerships. This particular case is an example of those partnerships and how well they work. This investigation was conducted with help from the FBI, from the Grand County Sheriff's Office. We have BLM agents and Assistant United States Attorneys all working together on this investigation. Based on evidence found during the investigation, the grand jury indicted these four defendants on 13 counts. I want to start by saying that these are all allegations. All four of the defendants are charged with conspiracy against the United States, theft by receiving stolen property from the United States, and violations of the Paleontological Resources Preservation Act. Some of the defendants are also charged with false declarations, attempted smuggling, and money laundering. As you will see in the indictment, which I believe you all have a copy of, as you'll see in the indictment, it is alleged that Vint and Donna Wade purchased dinosaur bones knowing that they had been removed from federal land in southeastern Utah. Some they kept for their own, but some they sold, a large percentage, they sold to Steve and Jordan Willing. And Steve and Jordan Willing then exported the bones to China. It is alleged that the Wades sold over $1 million, approximately 150,000 pounds of paleontological resources taken from southeastern Utah, and that the Willings then shipped these paleontological resources to China. During one transaction alone that is alleged in the indictment, the Wades contracted to sell 28,000 pounds of dinosaur bones to the Willings for $1.4 million. You will also see allegations in the grand jury's indictment that the defendants knew the bones were taken from public land and that they took steps to hide the true nature of the bones. The actions alleged in this indictment violated PARPA. PARPA is the Paleontological Resources Preservation Act. I'm going to spend just a little bit of time talking about PARPA because it's something that most people are not familiar with. Most of you are probably familiar with ARPA, the Archaeological Resources Preservation Act, but it is rare that we have a case charged under PARPA, and extremely rare, in fact maybe never, to have a case charged that involves this large, of this many pounds of paleontological resources. So the Paleontological Resources Preservation Act was enacted by Congress in 2009. The purpose of the act was to prevent people from, among many other things, removing, selling, and exporting paleontological resources found on federal land. Now, paleontological resources are defined as fossilized remains of organisms that provide information about the history of life on Earth. PARPA was enacted to preserve the scientific and historical value of these resources. As you can imagine, when dinosaur bones and other paleontological resources are removed from their primary location, and especially when they are further processed, they lose almost all scientific value. Whatever value we could have gained by knowing this location that they are at, what other bones were near them, the type of soil they were found in, all of that scientific value is lost when they're removed from their primary location. There's also a loss to future generations from just being able to experience being out on a hike in federal lands or other public lands and seeing these dinosaur bones in their primary location. So although dinosaur bones and all of the paleontological resources have a value on some markets, the true loss of removing these items from public lands cannot be monetarily measured. It is invaluable. This is why PARPA was passed and why it is illegal to take vertebrate fossils off public lands. So in my mind, this raises a really important question, and I want to ask Acting Special Agent in charge of BLM, Travis Guy, to come forward and explain what should you do if you see a dinosaur bone on public land. Travis?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity. So we ask all visitors of public lands, if they come across either paleontological or archaeological resources, that they leave it in place. Just as she said, once that resource is removed, it loses a lot of value. What we would ask for someone to do if they do come across it is to document it, probably take a picture or a photograph of it. If you can obtain grid coordinates to it, we'd like for you to do that. And then contact the local BLM field office or BLM ranger. Again, once that's done, we will send people out to take a look at it, to verify that that is a resource, and we will document it on our end and make sure that we preserve it for future use for all public visitors. At this time, I'd be remiss if I didn't elaborate on the collaboration and the cooperation of all entities involved. I'd like to take a moment to thank the U.S. Department of Justice, in particular, the U.S. Attorney's Office for their assistance, the FBI, in particular, the FBI Technical Unit and the FBI Forensic Accountants for their help. Customs and Border Protection, Diplomatic Security Service, as you know, this case has international nexus. But I'd also like to thank the Grand County Sheriff's Office and San Juan County Sheriff's Office and many other entities and individuals involved that were assisting us with this case. Besides that, I would like to invite up State Director Greg Sheehan with BLM to provide some remarks. So.
Thank you, Travis. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Greg Sheehan. I'm the State Director for the Bureau of Land Management here in Utah. The United States Bureau of Land Management, or BLM, manages a large portion of the lands in Utah. Congress has given the BLM broad authority to manage those lands under a multiple use mandate. Similarly, Congress has created prohibitions of certain uses. We've heard about some of those here today. One of those prohibitions is the removal or sale of paleontological resources. We will take action against those who illegally or inappropriately diminish these protected resources. We'd like to thank those local, state, and federal agencies that assisted in the preparation of this case. I'll turn the time over now to the Grand County Sheriff's Office.
Hello, Alson Bluck. I'm a lieutenant at the Grand County Sheriff's Office. And we wanted to thank the Bureau of Land Management and commend them in dismantling the illegal trade of paleontological artifacts in our community. The Grand County Sheriff's Office was pleased to support the BLM in their pursuit of criminal activity and bringing forth those suspected of crimes for prosecution. We shall continue to support any outside agencies having a nexus in our community to apprehend criminals to protect our residents and visitors. In the future, we look forward to working with all law enforcement entities in our common goal of ridding our county of criminal activity. Thank you.
Thank you to all of our partners here today and everyone who's worked on this important case. As Ms. Martinez mentioned, we will not be taking any questions at this time because the case is pending, but we will hopefully have the opportunity to answer more questions when the case is fully adjudicated. Thank you.